to the Call of Duty World League New Orleans Global Open Pool Play Draw Show presented by PS4. My name is Jack Courage Dunlop. I'm joined by Joe Merck DeLuca and Clint Mavid Evans.
Hey, fellas.
For our first official CWL broadcast of the year 2018. First off, hope you all had a happy holidays and a fantastic new year. I'm ready to get back into the Call of Duty grind, some more CWL action. But first, we got to look back before we get into any of this. Dallas was a fun time, our first event, a major success in the Call of Duty World War II season.
Absolutely, and a lot of surprises. You obviously have TK winning that one. Nobody really expected that. Kenny, a superstar in the making for that team. Splice runner-up, and, Optic Gaming taking that third place, which not a lot of people thought was going to happen.
No, and Maven, a lot of dramatics there, and also coming into this, kind of some crazy roster changes we had seen coming into this final roster lock. A lot of drama there too.
I think we're going to take a look at sort of your top teams in North America that made it into pool play for this event, but teams kind of snuck in at the last moment, which I know was talked about a lot recently, but we're here. I feel great about the 10 teams that are going to be in. It's filled with talent. It's going to be a lot of fun, but we did have kind of a mini roster mania heading into this event.
If the competition's anything like what we saw down at the CWL Dallas Open, we're going to be in fantastic hands. Let's go a little bit more in depth though with the final pro point tally and our 16 teams we're going to be seeing in pool play. Joe, break it down for me. What we wound up seeing here, no real changes actually outside of North America.
Yeah, I mean, North America, you have 10 teams. Europe, 5, the same 5 from Dallas.
Yep.
And then Australia, Mind Freak, that #1 seed. You'll see 16 total teams start in pool play in our pools in New Orleans, and then 4 from the open bracket. We'll fill those last places in.
Yeah, I think the big change is it's kind of 2 in, 2 out sort of scenario for North America. So you lost Ghost Gaming and Evil Geniuses, who were in pool play at Dallas. You're gaining then Echo Fox and FaZe. So the 2 teams that had that amazing run through open bracket now find themselves in a great spot, looking forward to the LAN League. So I don't know. I feel really good about the teams. I haven't been impressed with Ghost and EG. I think Echo Fox and FaZe have looked fantastic. So I think somehow our pool play's got even more stacked than we had it back in Dallas.
We've got it all going into the CWL New Orleans Global Open. I mean, we've got new storylines, new rosters, breakout players, and new stars. It's going to be fun to watch, obviously. Get your tickets on sale now. But one thing we do want to take a look at, we know of our first 4 slots that are going to be slating into pools, Joe. And this is what? North America, seeds number 1 through 3, and then the #1 in Europe in Splice. So we'll see TK, who won our CWL Dallas Open, as the #1 seed overall in pools. There in Pool A, slot 1, Optic Gaming in Pool B, LG in Pool C, and Splice in Pool D. Now, just like last time, there are a couple rules that will go along and cover through for the viewers at home throughout the show, Joe. I think there's just one we need to watch out for here in this first pot of teams. What are we looking out for?
Yeah, so in pot #2, when we start this draw, you have 4, 5, 6 in North America, #2 in EU. The big thing here, Red Reserve, they can't go in a Splices pool, so as long as we avoid that, we're going to pull the rest of them.
Boys, we ready to get this started?
Let's get it going.
Let's do it. Let's begin the CWL New Orleans Global Open Pool Play Draw Show presented by PS4. Joe is handling the selections. Okay, so it is actually Red Reserve, and it is a reverse snake order. So this first draw would have gone into Pool D if it wasn't another European team, but since it is, they'll fall into Pool C, joining the likes of LG there. So Red Reserve, that 2nd seed in Europe. Maven, so far this year, have they let people down? Where do they currently stand?
I don't know. I mean, I guess they're sitting where I sort of expected them to. I mean, they're a team that has a lot of talent, ability to beat just about anyone, but you expect them to sit sort of the #2 spot in Europe. They have. Can they take a search off just about any team? Sure. Can they upset Luminosity? Absolutely. I don't expect them to. Luminosity coming off Montreal, coming off a disappointing Dallas. They've looked to be in form. Yeah. You expect them to play great. I think they'll handle Red Reserve personally.
Well, we know now Red Reserve will be in Pool C, so this next selection will fit into Pool D with Splice. No other crazy rules you need to know from here on out for this pot 2. Whew. And wow, it will be E-United joining Splice, and Merck, you immediately went, whoo!
Yeah.
Is Pool D already looking like the pool of death again, just like at Dallas?
Potentially, just because Splice is in there. I mean, they were just so good at Dallas. And then United, still, I feel like trying to find their identity overall throughout this year. A lot of sort of role changes, Clay running that submachine gun. But we know the potential of United. They're a roster that if they get things going, they can win an event, man.
100%.
Anytime you have 2 teams where you say, like, oh, that could be a grand final, potentially, it's very scary. And will it happen? Probably not. But is it possible? Yeah, I mean, look how stacked this is already. I can't wait to see how it all breaks down, but Splice United, that's a tough matchup.
That's the toughest pool pick you could get in this pot 2 in regards to seeds. So now we know E-United will be joining Splice. let's keep this rolling. The next selection will fall into Pool B, joining Optic Gaming. Who will it be? And oh my goodness, Team Envious will be joining Optic Gaming. I can only imagine the chat right now, Maven.
And this is, 7 in Dallas as well, right?
Yeah.
So, we talked about it back before Dallas, a little bit of trash talk between like Temp and Karma, and then they go into it. Optic handles business. But this NB team, man, I don't know. I've always been very high on them. I thought they'd be a championship caliber team. I wasn't surprised they weren't great at Dallas. They had some building to do. Hook just coming back. Is this where they find their form? Where's like the cutoff for them to find their form? It's you, Joe.
For me, it's got to be stage 1. I'll give them the first 2 events. I expect them to be a top team in North America, but this is a roster that Slasher wanted. I mean, they were runner-ups last year. They brought on the young guns. They got classic. So this is everything Slasher wanted, and you can see there's been some frustrations on Twitter seeing the guys like, oh no, here we go again. So, I mean, we'll see what happens because Slasher has been performing excellent. Those other guys now, they have to step up.
That was the number 1 note. Slasher, the number 1, I believe, overall KD at the CWL Dallas Open. Far and away the number 1 stats.
Remember last year, right? He was still in school. He started a little bit slow and then really picked it up once he got out of school. Like this year, from what I understand, he's completely focusing on Call of Duty, and he's just been destroying. So expect him to be on a tear, I think, all through 2018.
Wow. So, again, Optic and Envy will be joining up in Pool B. Let's go ahead and have the final selection from Pot 2. We know of the last team it will be, but for rules' sake, we'll go ahead and draw. It will be the Dark Horse Open Bracket team from the CWL Dallas Open, FaZe Clan and Merc. They'll be joining Team Caliber. A lot of submachine gun battles and storylines in that group.
I mean, the first thing that sort of sticks out to me is Kenny versus Zuma. Those 2 submachine gun superstars are going to go at it, but we'll see. Again, FaZe, a lot of people have them considered like top 4 in the world. This is a very tough matchup for Team Caliber.
This is like something like fight fire with fire. That's kind of what I tell when I look at this right here, Maven.
It's another matchup that you could see being a grand final. Yeah. I mean, with the run that you saw FaZe put on, they've improved in the 2Ks recently. You expect Team Caliber, like, well, some teams may have caught up a little bit, sure, but they still look very good. This pool is already scary as well, man.
Go ahead.
This is the one thing with me. FaZe is continuing to improve, and you don't always see that with a lot of teams, especially after roster changes. You'll see maybe one good event, and then you sort of go downhill. But the past couple of months, FaZe is just getting better and better, so we'll see. This could be a very tough matchup.
Whew. Watch out for the CWL Dallas Open MVP accuracy to see if he can stay in form. Replays will most certainly have his hands full there in Pool A. But that's a look at our first pot of teams. Pot 2 is finished. Already some storylines as we touched on, but we've now got another pot of 4 more teams to go through, Joe. Pot 3, reverse snake order.
Yep.
So this first selection will start in Pool A.
Yep.
What else? Anything else we need to know for the people at home?
So you have 7 and 8 in North America, alongside 3 and 4 in EU. So right now you have 2 pools with 2 NA teams and 2 pools with 1 NA and 1 EU. Basically, if I pull out an EU team, they have to go into a pool with 2 NA teams. It's pretty simple.
Very easy.
We will explain it to you. The graphic, it'll definitely make sense.
I'm glad I'm not handling the graphic.
No, you're all good. I say we just get it started.
Yep.
Put
your hand in the bowl.
From Pot 3, as Maven yells at Merc to get it done, it will wind up being Rise Nation.
I don't know about you guys, but this is probably the team I'm most excited to see perform at NOLA, just due to the team change. I know we all, for Methods as a player, we have all liked him for years and years, but he hasn't really been a top player for quite some time. People are valuing him there right now. He's got a lot to prove.
And now, Joe, as you just mentioned with those rules, explain to people at home where they'll fall in.
Yeah, so obviously in Pool A, you have TK and FaZe, and B, Optic Envy. Because those are all North American teams, Rise will go all the way to Pool C, where you have Luminosity, Red, and now Rise Nation.
Okay, so they will fall into Pool C. Rise Nation fitting on in with Red and LG and Maven.
They just won the most recent 2K. Like I am scared of this Rise team if I'm just about anyone right now. I mean, maybe I'm completely off base and they'll fall apart on land, but
you think
I'm excited for it.
They're in their honeymoon phase. They just won that 2K. They're a hungry team of players that kind of think they have what it takes. They made these roster changes to make this team happen. That's the big thing. Methods knew we wanted to join up with Rise. Gunless got switched on over here. Don't sleep on this team at all in Pool C.
And you got to think Gunless has probably got a big chip on his shoulder. When I first heard rumors going around about team change, like he was the first name I was hearing to be removed off of Echo Fox. Yeah. So you got to feel he's got a chip. Method's had a chip for 3-4 years now. So like this, I don't know, man. I think they're going to make a really deep run personally.
All right, so let's keep the selections going with Pot 3, who will be joining into Pool A again. As we'll go ahead and draw the team, and it is going to be Unilad, the Twins, and crew the new European organization joining the competitive Call of Duty scene.
I just want them to do well.
Yeah,
I think so.
Everyone does.
That's my analysis for you, that. It's always going to be. They're just a fun team to watch, fun team to interview, fun team to just see on social media. It's going to be interesting. That's a very, very, very tough pool.
Yeah, and when you look at this, it's just, does Uniland have the firepower to really deal with DK, to deal with FaZe? At Dallas, you saw some glimpses of hope, but this is a very tough pool A to be in.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Uniland will have their hands full with two North American powerhouses in FaZe and TK. Let's keep momentum rolling. Who will be joining Optic and Envy in Pool B? As the selection comes on in, we basically, I don't know who it has to be. Oh, that's upside down. That's the right way. Vitality, the French, joining into Pool B. I definitely butchered that one.
No, it was great, Jack.
I took French for a while in school. Didn't do too well.
Probably forgot most of it.
I couldn't remember more than a sentence right now, but what I do know for sure is that they will be joining Optic and Envy. Joe, probably not the ideal draw the French COD community wanted to have.
I mean, they had some good showings in Dallas. They beat Luminosity. There was some sayings that Luminosity was just practicing their different vetoes, but this team, they consistently perform well in Europe. I mean, if they can put it together, they can upset some people, but it is looking tough. I mean, Optic and Envy, I can see them maybe upsetting an Envy if they have a slow Friday, but it's going to be so tough to deal with Optic.
One of those things where maybe like a differing play style catches somebody off guard. I mean, this isn't, advanced movement where just raw slaying gets you through necessarily. We've seen teams win games getting outslayed by 40. I don't know, maybe a little bit of different play style can catch somebody off guard, but yeah, it's going to be very, very, very hard.
Wow. So we have one final team in Pot 3, and just so happens they'll fill right into Pool D.
Oh, man.
The selection. Here it is.
Pool D is not fun.
Echo Fox, and you kind of hear it there from Merc and Maven. Pool D, right now. Pool of death?
I think it's almost instantly your pool of death due to the regional rules. Because I think Splice is far and away the best European team. So it's almost like
I think Splice is far and away the best team not in North America.
Yeah,
Every region.
without question. So if they're in that pool, it just makes it so much harder for me. I just think they're such a scarier draw, even to the second place team Red Reserve. So unless you got the easiest draw in each of these, and even if you did, this pool's still terrifying. It's just, God, man. Splice is a big part of that. They've been so good.
And I think it's one of those things where Echo Fox, with their roster changes and then them not performing on well with 2K, their seed moved a little bit. So that's why they are that number 8 in North America, and that's why they fall in this pot number 3. So it's going to be a crazy pool. Pool D already shaping up to be so close.
Any of those 3 teams can beat each other any given day.
Yeah. And again, don't forget, we will have an open bracket team joining each of these pools. It is the largest open bracket in Call of Duty history. This is the biggest event ever. Most competitors than ever before. 256 teams in the open bracket alone. 272 overall. It's going to be nuts. There's no other way to put it. We have one final pot of teams, Joe. Any last rule the people at home need?
Nope. We're just going to go straight again.
Don't you love that?
Reverse snake, so we will be starting with D. Okay. I believe you have sort of 9-10 North America. You have number 5 EU, and then number 1 APAC, that mind-free team in this pot. So let's get right to it.
Please get it started. The first selection from pot 4.
Who's the scariest here? Ground Zero or Enigma 6? Pool D.
Pool D, Ground Zero, now fitting on in. And this is a new kind of formed Ground Zero roster with, again, in that honeymoon phase, hoping to perform well. They have some chance for upset in this pool.
Yeah, obviously Parasite and Study, they pick up Felony, they get Naga from Next Threat after that team sort of disbands. Those two, they went with the veterans where they did have Pharaoh and Blastful who were sort of the rookies. So a very tough pool overall. We'll see if Ground Zero can keep it together.
Wow. And Maven, any thoughts for you on this Pool D now that we know who's all slotted in?
I like this new Ground Zero team. I was really excited to see what they're going to do. Big fan of, pretty much everybody on that roster. Especially, I want to see Felony, coming off a rise. It feels like he has something to prove. But how the hell do you get top 2 currently in this pool? It's possible, but God, that is stacked.
Yeah, it most certainly is. So we know our Pool D. Let's keep the selections going here in Pot 4. Who will be joining Pool C? And it will actually be Enigma 6, the other North American powerhouse in this lineup. Again, some major roster changes come on through. And now this team almost has a fully new identity coming into CWL NOLA.
Yeah, I know. Maybe as an organization, some of the players take a little bit of flack about how things went down, but you know what?
Business is business.
Yes, exactly. You want to be in the LAN League. You want to be in pool play here to try and earn that spot. I don't blame anyone. I think it was a good move, and I really am I don't know. Unless they go out like top 24 or something, let people down.
This is the thing with me. E6, listen, E6 they pick up the young trio. They have Doug. The problem is you have to have a good Friday. They're the number 10 seed. Those teams in open bracket, e.g. Ghost Gaming, they're chasing that last Pro League spot. If they get through open bracket, get into a different pool, I mean, E6, they could easily go 0-3 in this pool, put them in a very tough position. We'll see what happens, man. It's going to be very tough for E6. They need to sort of try and finish around that third place mark in this pool.
Remember, those pro point battles coming into the final kind of selections and seeds, when we know at the end of the event every team that will qualify for a spot in the Pro League.
And we don't know how good. There was a little bit of drama with Dashi kind of when all the roster meeting went down. It's like we don't exactly know maybe where the chemistry is at with this team. Some newly formed, some frustrations.
Probably not the best.
Yeah, you gotta think.
That's what I was say. Preparation. I mean, New Orleans. It's next Friday. A week from today we start.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Well, here we go. 2 more selections. Joe, keep it going in pot 4. Who will be falling into Pool B? It will be the European squad Epsilon, who so far this year been pretty darn quiet, Maven.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, outside of what, a 4-month period last year and about a week during Black Ops 3, that's kind of been the case. But when they've been strong, they've been excellent, been able to make runs towards being a title caliber team. We haven't seen that yet. Josh was kind of the difference maker for them last year. Who's going to be that difference maker this year? I don't know. It just seems for me still Splice is so far ahead, and then Red's almost just as far out from some other guys.
Merc, should it be an easy call for the top 2 in this group, or is there a chance for Epsilon and Vitality to maybe take down Envy or Optic?
I mean, I'm more worried about the open bracket team, right, than actually these 2 European teams.
Really?
I don't know if I saw enough from Vitality and Epsilon. If a hot North American team out of the open bracket like an EG gets into this pool, then maybe you can see some upsets, but
it's true.
I think Optic and Envy are the clear-cut top 2.
Remember, there is so much Call of Duty to be played in that open bracket that when the team winds up filtering in, they've had more performance on land than basically those pool play teams combined.
It's true.
At that point that weekend. We'll see how it plays out. Joe, the final selection of the CWL New Orleans Pool Play Draw Show presented by PS4. And, well, it's our lone APAC team in pools, Mind Freak, who will fill into Pool A to join TK, FaZe, and Unilat.
Hey, they go. We give them a little bit of flack early. They haven't performed really well throughout last year when we kind of expected them to. Maybe at some of the different land leagues, they made a run at the end of Dallas, right? They definitely had some upsets that we didn't expect. And hearing how the guys talk about it, I thought they did well. They didn't think they did well. Was what was so shocking to me. Like, this is a team that really expects to be making runs into your top 4.
Yeah, I mean, we're just not too sure what Mind Freak. The big thing is they don't practice much against these North American teams. They go back home, and they're always the best team in that region.
They'll always be the story.
Yeah, they have been for so long. They have the talent. We've seen it before. They just have to put it together. The big thing for me is they can't have a slow start to a tournament. They're always sort of starting off very slow in pool play. Then they have to make a deep losers bracket. And as you said, we saw it a little bit on Sunday in Dallas, but just not enough quite yet.
Mind Freak, they're basically feeling pretty good about having their spot in the LAN League, but the question remains, can they perform now at a major global open event? I'd love to kind of take a look at the pools one final time before we go ahead and leave everybody until NOLA begins. For me, Pool D, again, is our group of death heading into our second global open of the year.
I think with the format, that's just how it's going to be. As long as we have a team like Splice in there, it's going to be so scary for Pool D.
Yeah, and besides Pool D, I think Pool C, Luminosity, Red Reserve, Rise Nation, those are a great 3 teams. Enigma 6, we'll see how they sort of form. They can get better and better, but the thing to me is in E6, they just don't have too much time to prepare for this tournament. But you still have that trio in Dashi, Blastful, and General now who can put on a show.
Sure.
CWL New Orleans Global Open is going to be absolutely fantastic. You see the talent here in the pools. We cannot stress enough. This is a larger open bracket, more Call of Duty competition than ever before. 272 total teams, another completely sold out event in team passes. Call of Duty Esports in a fantastic spot. The Call of Duty World League is well underway. You will not want to miss any of the action, whether it's online watching at MLG.com or in person. Go find out and see if you're available to get down to the event first. Drive down, do whatever you have to do to get there. Come be there in person in New Orleans. Tickets on sale now. Here's some more information about it. January 12th through 14th. A $200,000 prize pool. That ridiculous open bracket. Spectator and VIP passes on sale now. and it's the last Global Open before the Pro League. For more info, mlg.com/CWLNOLA. Any last words, gentlemen?
I'm pumped, man. This is going to be fun. Dallas was incredible. It just, the stakes get higher and higher as year goes on. And some could say NOLA is maybe the most important event of the year because you're guaranteeing you get into the LAN League. I know that there's importance on a lot of things, but this is huge, man. This is what defines people's careers throughout the year.
I think Clint said it best. I mean, I don't know what to say. I hope to see all of you there, as many of you as possible. I'm very excited. There's going to be some top-notch Call of Duty. Yep. I really hope we get that sort of Ghost Recruit EG match to decide who goes into that last spot for the Pro League. We'll see what happens. I'm excited to see. So, we're just a few weeks away from that stage 1 of that Pro League.
Well, there we have it, folks. This concludes the CWL New Orleans Global Open Pool Play Draw Show presented by PS4. Share with us your thoughts, at MLG, on Twitter, at Cod World League. Use the hashtag CWLPS4. Do you agree with us on the group of death? Who do you think can really be a dark horse in these pools? There's a lot to look forward to. The CWL New Orleans Global Open kicks off January 12th. We'll see you there on MLG.com.